Welcome back, everybody, to the Two Random Dudes podcast. Guess what, Gio?
What is it, Jen?
We have our first sponsor.
And who is it today?
Are you ready? Okay. So our sponsor is Square Trade. They're the company that does like insurance for all like electronics and stuff like that. And the reason that they're a sponsor and the reason that they're so great is because I recently had an incident with my iPhone and I called them up. I actually went to the Apple Store for today. It just happened today. I went to the Apple Store and they saw that there was the red sticker that got wet, right? It turned red. So they opened it up and they said there's too much liquid damage. So then I recalled that I actually had Square Trade insurance, so I called them up and they were like, oh, it actually expired on July 1st. And I ended up talking to a sales guy and he's like, it's your lucky day. I'm able to extend that warranty for you for 1 day, which means just today I was able to file a claim, and now I can take it back to the Apple Store, pay whatever it's going to cost to get it fixed, and then they're going to reimburse me that money. So thank you very much, Square Trade, for somehow, some way, indirectly funding this podcast.
Indirect. Okay, so how much of a cut do I get out of that deal?
Well, you would be like the Jason Nash one, so like you don't directly get compensation.
I thought we were gonna do some fake sponsors so that we can make fun of them.
No, we're not going to make fun of. Listen, this is really I mean, like, I think this is such a good company for what they're doing. Honoring my insurance, although it expired, 2 weeks ago. They're like, yeah, we're going to still make good on it. So I think what that does is it sets me up with the expectation of anytime I get a new electronic device and I want to get insurance, I'm going to think about Square Trade first. And that's an absolute definite.
Yeah, because they cover most things, and they do it after the fact sometimes too.
Yeah, well, in this instance, they did. So that's
It depends I don't get insurance all the time. It depends. I guess you got two things covered there. I guess told us about our sponsor, and you also told us what happened to your phone. So you dropped it in water? What happened?
so. I've always thought, and I still think that the phone is waterproof because there's so many studies out there and on YouTube that they've put the phone into water for like 30 minutes. They'll submerge it for like 10 meters, 30 minutes. So I'm thinking to myself, I've got to be able to do it for at least, let's say, like 30 seconds, right? So I was at Hurricane Harbor yesterday and I took some videos and yeah.
Oh, iPhone, man. It's their first time getting the waterproofing, and I guess they couldn't do it.
It's still good. It is still good. But anyway, the insurance part is what matters, and I really like them for their customer service and, of course, for giving me my money back on a mistake that I
So,
legally made.
do we do the sponsor, and now we get into our intro? We got an intro this week, right?
Are you ready for the intro?
I'm ready.
Okay, so I'm going to have it next week. So, all
Next.
right,
Okay, promise next week. Got it.
yeah, next week. I'll be here.
And I guess outro as well.
Well, the outro I might have done, it might be ready by the end of this show, so let's go ahead and go with it.
So, I've got a lot this week to talk about. I don't know if you want to go first.
I've got nothing to talk about because I'm more interested in your life.
You're living through me, and I'm the married one?
Exactly. We need to really stress that point that you live like a much more exciting life than I do, even though you're the one that's married and you're supposed to be like, spending time with your baby. And not that you're not, right? But it's just that you have your priorities where you kind of do things. And that's cool. So I respect it. But in any case, let's hear about your story. Stories.
Oh, I got ton. So, I don't know. Let's start with the requested one from our super fan. In the past podcasts, I talk about how I have, certain social medias and not others. And he was like, you should bring that up. Talk about why you don't have a Facebook, right? So I have YouTube, I have Twitter, I have Snapchat, and, a few others, but, musically, things like that. But why don't I have a Facebook? I don't have an Instagram. I manage Gigi's, but, it's not mine. I don't know. I had everything before it, all the way back to AOL, and you were in chat rooms. I had MySpace and Asian Avenue, and that was a thing.
Asian Ave-
What's that?
I remember Asian Avenue.
Yeah, that was a thing. And then there was like Friendster, and there was but I stopped, I think, after MySpace. I don't know. It's just Facebook. I never.
So you had a MySpace? I don't remember.
Yeah, I had a MySpace.
Was I on your like
Top
top 10?
8,
Top 8 was it? I forget.
I think. Yeah, I don't know if you made it.
Damn. Hope I
I,
did.
I don't know. There's just a lot of reasons, and I never got into it. I mean, I think it was more because it was just so connected, and like everybody was on it. And I kind of wanted to stay away from that first. There's some maybe like um, older friends I didn't want to see, or ex-girlfriends, or you just saw stupid posts from people that I didn't care about. And then on outside the box, I thought, well, if I didn't care about their posts, maybe that they wouldn't care about my posts. Like you see your feed during like sports events, and all you see is like, go Giants, go Cowboys, or oh, countdown, 3 days left to my vacation, and then you see a picture of their pina colada on the beach. Like, I don't care about that, right? And I just thought, like, okay, well, what would I post on mine? Like, people don't care about that. I don't know. And it suggests friends, even though you're not friends with them, but they're friends of friends. And it was just, people, like, find you. And I wanted more platforms where they would find you only if they wanted to find you, not it would like be suggested to you and everybody's on it. And I guess that's kind of why I'm on certain platforms or not. Does that make sense?
It kind of does. Here's how I feel about it though, because obviously you're on Snapchat. And I feel like Snapchat is one of those apps where it's actually a little bit more personal because you are sharing things that are kind of like, what are you doing here? And I know that you do Snap more than you do, let's say, post on IG or more of a presence on Facebook. So I know that the stuff that you're putting out there, it's still, you know, relatively relevant, personal,
Okay, so
and
with the personal thing, it's, Snapchat is meant to put the stupid stuff, like you're eating soup, not on Facebook, because it's like you get it and you delete it and it's gone. And as far as Snapchat, it's like you can add like, not many people find you on there, right? I don't have a lot of people seeing it. Okay,
how many
how about
people do
this?
you have
How many
on your
friends do you have
Snap?
on Facebook versus how many friends do you have on Snapchat? See the difference?
Well, hold on. We can't really use me as an example because, believe it or not, I get a lot of business through Facebook, so it's in my best interest to add more friends and have more people versus, like I said, with Snapchat, it's a lot more of a personal thing where whether it be like, hey, I'm drinking coffee. I think that was today's post. Or if I'm posting pictures of my son, I don't care like what's in the background because I know it's going to disappear, so it's just kind of whatever I want to post out there.
So yeah,
And
that's not personal. Drinking a coffee, why is that personal?
no, I'm saying it can be personal. There are people out there.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
don't use it like that.
there are people out there that will straight up tell the whole entire life story. You know those people, right? Like I thought, like Paige Hathaway. She she will post probably a good like 50 to 100 snaps, and she's doing it for her business too. But it's a lot of it. I feel like it's just out there. It's just it's a good thing. I'm not sure if exactly
That
what I'm trying
I
to do here,
think
but
that has nothing to do with why I don't have a Facebook. Like what I'm trying to say is like, for example, if I like Lil Wayne and I like his music, right? I love his rapping, his music, his beats. So I follow him on Facebook or whatever social media. But he posts everything else. Like, oh, today I'm going to go do my laundry, or I'm going to get my dog colored pink, or I just bought this new shirt or had a donut for lunch. Like, I don't care about that. I care about his music,
Wait,
right?
so are you saying that you wouldn't follow him on Snapchat, but you would follow his music? And how would you follow his music?
No, if you like somebody, you might want to follow them. But when you follow them because you like a certain thing about them, you don't care about the rest of the stuff. And that's the kind of thing when you subscribe to somebody, it's like you get all of that. So what I like to do is follow what I like and when I like it. And that's why I choose a certain platforms that I'm on. Because you're going to get everything on Facebook. Everybody's going to post everything about anything because everybody's on it. And the other platforms, not so much. So I can kind of hone in to what I like, and the people that want to follow me can hone into that on those social platforms that I'm on. Versus where Facebook, everybody is.
I mean, I sort of agree with you, but at the same time, I feel like, so what's the big deal in just having a Facebook and not being that go-to interface, which a lot of people do. A lot of people, even little kids, will have a Facebook because, their parents are on or whatever, but for the most part, a lot of their time is spent on probably Snapchat, Instagram stories. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So just having it is just to have a presence there.
I
And
think another reason for me would be like when I don't like what other people post, I think would they like what I post. So I like rather them coming to find me because if they find me and they like what I post, it was on them to find me, not like it was suggested. And I want to follow him because I went to high school with him. No, they're following me because they like what I post. So like, when you post something on Facebook and your 300 or 600 friends see it, they see it because they went to high school with you, not because they care about that. Versus like if I have a YouTube channel and I got one video that gets 50,000 views, I don't know 50,000 people. So there's people there that are looking for that are interested, that are sharing it. So I'm engaging and I'm sharing with those people. I rather have that than like the approval of like, for example, our podcast. Like we have 3 listeners, right? And it's our mom and it's our
where did the other two come from?
it's because they know us and that's why they're listening. I rather have people that are actually interested. I want my friends to listen, but I don't want to have to tell them every time like, "Hey, listen." They should want to go or want to be subscribed. I hate like linking it all the time.
I was going to just expand on that. Speaking of which, have the friends that are in the other group, have they subscribed to your YouTube?
Some of them do,
Okay.
but I have more
You know what I
subscribers like
mean? 'Cause, like,
from non-friends. I would say. Our friends that are not into that stuff. They, like when I say like, oh, I watch this guy on YouTube, they're like, what? You watch YouTube? Like they don't even know what that is. I'm like, yeah, well, you know how you watch Sunday football or you follow, whatever movie star? Like that's what I watch. They don't understand that. I get a couple other people though messaging me because we posted it on Snapchat. They're now listening to the podcast and they're enjoying it. So that's cool. But again, it's people that know us, so I feel like they're biased.
right.
So now let's get into the next topic. So what else? Busy weekend. Thursday, and we talked in some of the past podcasts how we're into electric skateboards. Last Thursday, I went to a boosted board meetup, which is the board that I have in New York City. So I was, going to the meetup, a whole bunch of people there with the same, electric skateboard that I have. We were then riding through the city, which was such a cool experience. I felt like Casey Neistat to a meetup location. We have a drink, we get some food, and then we'd head home. So I get there, it's starting to drizzle. We're like, oh no, the ride might be canceled. The rain lets up, so we're able to ride. But, the floor was a little wet. Of course, what happens? I fall. I had a helmet on, I had a backpack, so it was pretty cushioned, but a lot of my weight landed on my shoulder. Like I said, the road was wet, the board slipped from out under me, and I broke my collarbone in 2 pieces. No, it's 3 pieces because it shattered. I got fractured 2 sides. So
You have, I want to kind of check it out to see how bad it is compared to, let's say, an injury that I sustained.
yeah, I have a picture of the X-ray. So it's my clavicle, my collarbone. I fractured it in two places, so that means it's three pieces. Yeah. Went to the ER that night. They let me go. There's nothing they can do. They took X-rays and they discharged me. So they gave me a
Yeah,
sling. They
yeah.
said, it could heal on its own. You might not need surgery, but make an appointment for the doctor. So I'm going this week to the doctors, and they say I need surgery. I'm going to get surgery.
Yeah, I would definitely say get surgery because I still wanted to get surgery, but for my injury, the doctor said, no, you don't need surgery. And what my doctor said to me, which something that probably
Oh, tell
true
them why
about,
you also had your skateboard and you fell. Or did we cover that in the past?
I think we did, but I'll quickly just go over it. So same scenario. I actually fell twice. The first time was the absolute worst. So the first time I fell, I was going about 25, 30 miles an hour downhill, and I was on a very smooth road. It's one of the main roads. So I was thinking to myself, I said, I'm going way too fast. I need to slow down. And so being the idiot I suppose I was being an idiot. I thought I was being cautious, but I transitioned to the curb, but we were going way too fast. So obviously that momentum is just going to throw you off, and the skateboard just kind of went wobbly on me, and then I flung forward, and I kind of landed like how a football player would catch a football, like a wide receiver would catch a football, and then go to the ground. So in that direction, I tore my acromion clavicular, which are the two tendons that connect your clavicle bone to your uh, no, your clavicle bone to your scapula or whatever. You know what clavicle? Say scapula.
Yeah,
Cla-
no. So I mean, we both now have injuries. I mean, I still love my board. I don't know. Jin's a little bit more um, apprehensive, I
Cautious.
guess, cautious. Yeah, I'm still. It was totally my fault that it was slippery out, and I just wasn't.
But that's kind of what happened to me the second time around when I was in California. Okay, I had the same situation that you had where because it's California, it had rained in the morning and I wasn't even going, okay? I didn't even have the booster board on. I was literally just kind of like pushing with my feet, and I think there was a car that was about to turn, so I went to kind of like slow down, just like to put my foot down, right? And in doing so, the wheels just slid forward, and I just ironically fell on the other shoulder, which it's still a little bit sore, but it's not like bad. I think my right shoulder is the worst, and the doctor said that within a year I'll find out, to the degree of severity and recovery I'm going to have.
Yeah, I don't think. I, they said that I wouldn't need it, but they're recommending I probably should. But when I get to see the doctor this week, we'll know for sure. I think if I have the option, I'm gonna get it. He was saying that people that don't get it are more prone to shoulder pain, and they're not happy about not getting it. So I think I'm definitely gonna get it.
Hey, if you have the insurance and you already have a good doctor and if they're
Wait,
advising,
do you have insurance?
I do.
Okay.
But they don't want me to do the insurance. And this is kind of funny because, in our mind, we always thought that doctors are just out to, do surgeries, get paid or whatever. So I went to the doctor for this elbow issue that I've been having. I've got this weird clicking issue. And so I went to the elbow doctor, and the doctor, he was just it was a very strange encounter with this doctor. He was like probably 55 years old. He walks in, he looks like he had about 15 cups of coffee before he even walked into the room. His eyes are all bugged out. And I'm like, hey, doc, so I'm worried about my elbow. And then he says, oh, I saw your MRI. You have a little bit of I think he said it's like a little bit of a bone and bone action, and there's nothing I can do. Um, you'll be fine, and you don't need to come back to see me. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, wait. I mean, like, I pay you, and I want to be able to tell you what's going on. And then he literally takes his right arm. He said, is it like this? He goes to straighten out his right arm, and it cracks. And he's like, let's do this and this, and it happened like he cracked his elbow probably like 10 times in front of me. I guess to demonstrate that it's a common thing.
Well,
So basically, what he said was that,
oh,
you know,
okay. I
I'm
guess
screwed.
I'm not going to that doctor.
He he was actually a highly recommended doctor from somebody else. But anyway, it's right now I'm not going back to him, but he did supposedly give me some sound advice, which is that you know it's going to heal when it's going to heal, if it does heal, and for the most part, there's nothing I can do. And he did say that um, if down the road, let's say like 30, 40, 50 years down the road, if there is a need, we would have surgery. And it would be a elbow replacement. I've never even heard of it.
Well, that brings us right into the next topic. So right after I get discharged out of the ER, I go home and I have to pack because I have a flight planned the following day, like 5 hours later or something like that, to my buddy's bachelor party in Canada. And I already
Give us
booked it.
details.
What's that?
I want to hear details about the bachelor party.
Oh yeah.
That's what everybody else wants to hear too.
We went to the bars. We went to a pool party. There was actually a really nice park. I know Jin loves parks. That everybody hangs out in. They drink, they smoke, they play music. That was pretty cool. We rode bikes around. I think we went to a couple clubs. Got bottle service, how that goes. And we had a nice Airbnb. We all got to stay together. But I was able to fly out the next day. I was surprised. They discharged me, took some x-rays. Like, yeah, you're good. I was like, really? So I had to spend this whole weekend. I mean, we had a good time. I had to spend this whole weekend in a sling, like crippled. So I was on painkillers for a little bit, and then I had to take some ibuprofen. But yeah, I think I did all right. But I just got back today, and now we're back at it with the podcast.
Did you vlog the bachelor party?
I did. You can
Yes.
see the footage up on my YouTube channel. I gotta upload everything, get it edited. That'll be up probably in a few days.
Now the people that are going to go to watch that video, they're going to get like the behind the scenes and everything that whatever happens in Toronto stays in Toronto. That's going to show up on the vlog, right?
Totally.
All right, good. Just want to make sure. See,
So
this is what I mean. This is what I mean, Gio. Your life is that much more entertaining. I mean, like, you went to a
why
bachelor party, you vlogged it, you're
why
breaking bones. I mean, you're like a badass. Think about that.
I know I am. Everybody tells me I know.
You are a
Why is Jin
badass.
why is Jin the bachelor not at the bachelor party?
I I don't know. I mean, like,
Please tell us. Yeah, we'd like to know.
did I have Caden? I think
Oh,
I had Caden. One
okay.
thing.
There you go.
I mean,
Good reason.
well, no, I guess it's a bad reason because, like, we already know when I have Caden, right? But it's also because when I do have Caden, I try not to, like, do things because, I only get him every other weekend. And so I want to be respectful to him to spend the time as much as I can, unless
Totally.
if I absolutely have to. So
I get it. No,
anyway,
but we had a good time. We were thinking about you, and we were like, "Oh man, wish Jin was here." So
why? Why?
because you had fun. It's all your boys having fun.
I,
What do you mean?
dude, I always like hanging out with you guys. It's just so difficult to get everybody together.
Yeah, a little bit. What dates people are available, or if you have Kaden or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
but we'll have a chance. There's a lot of our friends are probably up to getting married. Who do we got? We've got Sean, right? We've got DeLeo,
Mhm.
right? Who else? I mean, eventually, like Christian, I guess. You,
Hey,
right?
Christian is not getting married anytime soon.
You?
If if he does, our friend Christian, if he does, I'm sure it's going to be to a Russian, and it's going to be mail order. I'm just kidding. If Christian's listening, which he's probably not because he doesn't like podcasts. Um, no, I don't. This might be it. This might be your like last bachelor party for a very long time.
No,
How,
we have a
how would
lot
you
of
feel about that, though?
friends. I'm looking forward to yours, Jen.
I mean, I
You gotta,
guess if that ever happens. I mean, you know. So then, anyway, we're not going to talk about my single life. Let's talk about other things because again, you have a much more exciting life than I do. So let's talk about other things that's going on in your life. What else is up?
well, I mean that was my weekend. I mean, we do this weekly, and that's pretty action packed for me. Um, I don't know the meetup for the skateboards, the breaking my shoulder, then the trip out of the country. I think I've been talking a lot. What about you this weekend?
Dude, my life is so boring. No,
Okay, let's talk about how boring it is. What do you do? You're boring. Like, you read a book. What book did you read? Like what do you do?
I don't read books whatsoever. What about you? Do you read books?
I think maybe you're trying to avoid something. You're trying to hide something. You had to have
No.
done something. Like, do you go to
I,
the gym?
I, I promise you, I will tell you what I did,
Do
but
you do
I'm serious.
yoga?
Do you read books? I'm not joking.
Do I read books? No, not really.
That's my point. I mean, if I do anything, it's going to be listen to a podcast. That's what I would do, or listen to an audiobook. Like if we're talking about reading a book, right? Because you know, it's too time consuming, and I know I'm probably getting a lot of crap for it. Luckily, this podcast isn't that famous or popular. Or else people will probably really bash me, saying, especially if they reference me again in my garage.
No, I mean I get reading a book or listening to a podcast, but I'll do that stuff like when I'm doing other stuff. Like, I don't know, let's say you have a long drive, right? Because you're going somewhere to do something. I like to do things. Then, okay, let's read a book or listen to a podcast. Not like, all right, it's Saturday, I have the whole day, what do I want to do? I just want to stay home, listen to a podcast. No, let's go to, like you said, Hurricane Harbor. But it's an hour and a half away, okay? And, well, you're probably driving, but, at that point,
Wait,
listen to a
wait.
podcast.
Hurricane Harbor is like 20 minutes down the
Well,
road
that's
from me.
right. You live in another country.
I live in a place where there is easy access to a lot of good fun, especially for family.
But
You
far
should,
away from everything else, like friends and family.
no. It's think about it. I'm like 15 minutes away from Princeton, 20 minutes from Six Flags, and about an hour from you.
Yeah, but that's all by yourself. You come with
No.
us. That's like this weekend with friends and you weren't there.
Well, I have Sean, I have Christian, and all these other friends. There's a decent amount of us here. We're
That's
building
right.
up here.
You are. You're forming a group out there.
No, anyway, so the highlight of my weekend, I think definitely the highlight of my weekend was hanging out with my son and doing the annual, it's an annual trip. I'm trying to make it an annual as much as I can
Central
anyway.
Park.
Central Park, while everybody's down the shore, I want to enjoy the park, which still had a ton of people because it's New York City, but just being able to do that and to go and just enjoy everything that Central Park has to offer was
You
really
went.
cool.
Vito went, right?
Right. It was John. It was John and his family. So Rio and the kids, and then of course Caden. And we didn't do much. I mean, we just went there and just kind of like hung out. So like we went to the park, played a little bit of soccer, had ice cream, watched the break dancers do their thing because that's what they do there. And
I see you put up the vlog. I haven't watched it yet.
you're missing out, bro. Oh my goodness, it's the best vlog ever.
All the
John Vito
behind
doesn't.
the scenes, all the
John
details that
Vito
people want to see.
didn't like it. We didn't like it because it was a little bit too special effects-y. Although, in my opinion, I don't I don't consider it special effects. So what we try to do, and you probably don't know much about this, but when it comes to video editing, it can be such a pain in the butt. So what I try to do is I try to shoot with a certain style so that I don't have to, I guess, edit as much or spend as long editing. So what I do is, um, I guess we're talking about video editing and how to shoot videos, but I'll add transitions in camera. So if it's something like just swish panning, right, I'll just do it in camera, and then I'll just kind of uh, put the whole entire video onto the timeline, and then it helps me to easier and quicker to edit. Anyway, I'm sure this is boring stuff, so let's talk about something else.
So I, been getting some feedback on the podcast. Hearing mixed reviews, it's good. Some people love me, love you, hate you. So it's really interesting too to hear. If you guys want to give us feedback, I'm on Twitter at DeyCallMeGeo. That's DEY call me Geo. Jin, what's your handle?
I have a Twitter, but I don't tweet, which goes back to what we were talking about, how you do your thing. My Twitter is photos, Fotos, the number 4, and the future.
And I hear, I talk too slow. Jin talks too fast. I've heard things like, what else did I hear? I think I talk slow because I try to think of things, right? And I'm thinking before I say it. I don't know. But, a
I
lot of
talk.
people, they're interested too. They want to come on. They want to give their expertise.
Wait, are you saying that we actually have potentially like a guess?
Yeah, they want to come on. Yeah, people will come on and they'll talk. I mean, we could probably have a new person on here every time. There's so many people interested. They're like banging down our door. But I don't know.
So
Would it
wait.
use people because
Hear
there's
me
a
out.
new person or personality?
I totally agree. So let's do this. Since we don't have legit sponsors, why don't we charge them to come on?
I like that idea.
We'll call it like a donation or something.
I like that. How much would we charge?
Oh, that's a tough one. What do you think? What's like a good going rate for an appearance on a blog that gets, let's just say we get tons of views. I mean, it's not true, but we could just say it.
Well, why don't we start off small and then we can go bigger? Like, what's minimum wage? I don't know. We can do like, let's say $10, $20 an hour. I mean, right now the stopwatch is saying we're at
Charging them by the hour?
33 minutes right now. So if we did $20 an hour, we're at 33 minutes, then they technically gotta pay us about like $10.
I reassure you, none of our friends are going to pay us.
And since you're the popular one, you get the 70% and I get 30%. And
Okay.
we have the same manager. I don't know how we got that deal.
It's funny because our manager is basically ourselves. So therefore, it's funny. Hey, you know what? Let's talk about something that's even more important and more relevant. You know where I'm going with it, right?
Exactly. Say it on 3, same time.
One,
2,
two, three.
3. Spaghetti.
Conor McGregor, Mayweather.
That's what I said.
All
We
right, so let's talk
watched
about it.
we watched all the tours while I was away. I think I watched London and New York and Ireland. I don't know.
England.
It's all they're doing it for the
England.
views. They're doing it for the money and the attention. We all know Mayweather's gonna win, and McGregor's gonna be like get in the octagon, and Mayweather's never gonna do that. But they're just getting paid. Connor's retiring. Mayweather's retiring. They're just trying to
Conor's
do it for the
retiring.
views.
Wait. Where'd you hear this from, that Conor's retiring?
He retired a while back. Just recently. He was done.
Conor McGregor.
Yeah. I'm going to say in the last 6 months or a year, he said he was done.
Hold on, let's put a disclaimer out there that we're not like UFC fighters and we're not totally like, in the loop about what's going on. So with that said, I don't think he's retiring.
Yeah, Conor McGregor. I'll look it up right now. McGregor
They
retired.
already started to talk about like who they would be fighting next after this. I'm pretty sure he's not retiring.
Look, October 4th.
Well,
For
Conor
Conor
McGregor.
McGregor to walk away from MMA after UFC 205. Yeah, just Google it.
Nah, I think. I mean, but like that's like anybody. I could probably Google you and be like, "Oh, Joe, hurt
No,
shoulder."
there was a
That's when
thing.
he.
Well, you're saying again that you don't follow it. I mean, I follow it. I'm not super fan of UFC, but I follow it. And there was a report he was retiring. Same thing with Mayweather. When was his last fight? 2 years ago?
Oh, he's definitely retired. That much I know. But I'm talking about like with Connor, he is not retiring.
Yeah.
I think. All
It
right, let's.
it was in the news. It was in the news. It was a thing. Now, are we talking retirement like Michael Jordan or Jay-Z retirement where they're just saying it and they come back? Could be, but it was in the news. Like he tweeted it. He said it. He was done.
I don't know. I think you're crazy, man. I don't think.
Okay.
We'll wait and find out. Okay, let's
Well,
just wait.
I don't know. It's all for the money. Am I going to watch it? Sure.
Well, hold on. Besides watching it, so from what I heard, the the numbers, like the odds, are pretty good for betting. Have you considered or thought about betting?
Yeah, it probably was going to be like 10 to 1, but now it's probably like 6 to 1. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I like to bet the underdog when the odds are that good, but I really think Mayweather's gonna win, and I'm not gonna put down $1,000 just to win like 100. So no, I'm probably not gonna bet on this one.
Well, what I was thinking is betting, but betting just because think about it. It's going to cost you if you to watch it, and we know that we're a bunch of little hackers here, so we probably won't pay for the fight. But
Alleged, we're alleged hackers.
allegedly hackers, right? But if you do pay for the fight, you're going to pay at least what's it going rate? It's like 50
Probably
bucks.
gonna be $60 to $100 for this fight.
Okay. So just imagine that instead of taking that 60, 70 bucks, you just take that money and just pour it into the into
So who would
the
you put it on?
I would put it on Connor on the chance that he would get lucky and have that return on investment of what is it, 4 to 1? I think it is right now.
Is it 4 to 1? I'm guessing 6. Let me see.
It might be more than 4 to 1.
Your
Whatever it is, I would, I
first
would.
Mayweather odds. Let's see. Nothing. Odds shark. There's nothing quick that's telling me here in Google. Yeah, 4 to 1, 6 to 1. It's gonna be somewhere around there.
Well, I think those are pretty good odds, right?
Yeah, I mean you're still gonna have to pay the house, but yeah, I mean those are good odds. But is he gonna win? No. So technically they're not good odds. But go for it.
I mean, okay, so let's talk about it because you're saying he's not going to win. Okay, you do realize that he's like the biggest thing with fighting, especially now.
Who are you talking about?
You know that, right? Connor.
Okay, you're saying Connor's the biggest thing. He's got a good
Yeah,
stand-up game. He's got a good stand-up game, but the difference is, you know, Mayweather's got a great stand-up game, and that's all they're doing. Like, give Connor an elbow, give him a knee on top of the stand-up, in the boxing, McGregor will win. But it's straight up just punching. And Mayweather has this way of just dodging and getting away. Like, you can't even get the guy. His
yeah, I
technique
agree.
is
'Cause
ridiculous.
he is the best defensive boxer
Let, let's
ever.
let's do
But
this.
but 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 think about it though. Think about this. Connor has got a deadly, deadly fist. So
Well,
if
okay,
he gets
let's do
lucky,
this. How about we just do a bet? between us, and we'll document it here on the podcast. I don't know if I'll give you 6-1. Maybe I'll give you 2-1. How about that?
No, that's not fair at all. Why would I do that when I could just take my money and go bet it in the open market for six to
Because I
one?
think this works, right? And the podcast, we can't always agree. I think this back and forth works. So I want Mayweather. You want McGregor. I think this could work.
No, it won't work if you're giving me only those odds. They're not
Okay,
favorable
what
at
do you
all.
want? You want 4-1?
Well, are they 4 to 1 now, or is it something higher, lower, in between? What is it?
I guess we'll have to Google it. But
Yeah, good.
I don't know what they are. Let's see if I could type like Vegas odds. Will that work? Will it give me something? Not really. Telegraph, Forbes. I can't check Forbes because they check you and if you have an ad blocker or something, right?
I
Wait a minute there. 30,
figured this out
15,
at the
49.
podcast. We're getting pretty long in this podcast here, so
Yeah,
we have
Mayweather
anything?
wins in 1-8. What? No. Yeah, and McGregor wins 9-2. Draw 33-1. You have better odds in the draw. You want to take the draw 33-1?
33 to 1, and you're trying to, dude, and you're trying to give me like the worst odds ever.
No, I said 2. I'll do 4. So what's that? Like $25? If you put in 25, I give you 100 if you win. If not, I keep your 25.
Hold on, we have like 6 weeks. We're just talking prematurely about this. Let's go ahead
Well, the
and
odds are going to go
maybe
up and down as we get closer. So you got to lock in now. Lock it in. Do you want to do it or not?
Mr.
Actually, our fans that might not
I don't.
know about this fight, they're not going to root for McGregor or Mayweather. They're going to be rooting for Gio or Jin. Who do you want to see win?
Well, for one, I don't want to lock anything in yet. Okay.
Ah, you lost your chance.
Because if it
Next
does,
time you bet, it's not going to
no,
be 4-1. I'm
right,
not gonna
it
give you
might be
4-1.
better.
I'm gonna give
It
you
might,
3.5.
or it might be much better in my favor.
No, well, I'm locking you in right now at 4. Are you gonna take it or leave it? 4?
No, 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 no,
You
no.
heard it here, guys.
I'm gonna wait.
You couldn't commit.
Apparently, that seems to be my problem. Oh goodness.
All right,
All
so let's wrap it up. I think we're coming on 43 minutes here. Time for the outro. Or that's next week.
right. Wait, dude, are you seriously stealing my thunder? I was gonna. You know what? Fine, fine, fine. Let's save it for next week then. Okay. Let's save it for next week.
Outro next week. Intro next week. Definitely. Jin,
All
promise.
me. Promise. I got it.
All right, follow us on Twitter. Check out our YouTube. The vlogs will be up soon. We've got me in the bachelor party and Jin in Central Park. They call me Geo and photos for the future. Thanks for listening, guys. See you next week.
Peace. 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 Peace.